my goodness, live from the Tourmaliners studios in sunny San Diego, California. On the air is on the air.
But you know what?
Wow.
I'm just amazed that it's episode 87.
Yeah.
And it's June.
Well, this is what's scary is we've gone more than 87 weeks.
Yes.
We just took some time off. You know,
Yeah.
there were those, the incarceration years that we had there a couple times. It was great to have you along. Tommy's there. And, of course, look who we have on stage.
The Tourmaliners.
Real surf band, guys. Give us a little something, something.
Let's play a song.
Come on. Give us something. Anything. Come on.
All right, they're getting set up.
Yeah, they are. They're right. Goodness.
The Tourmaliners.
Yeah, you guys ought to play that thing. There you go.
Wow.
Jeez. Who do we got up here? That's fantastic.
I'd like to introduce the band. On guitar and lead vocals, by the way, Devin Berryhill.
Yes.
On the other guitar, Joe Dameron. On drums, John McElwee. On keyboards, Ina Solis. And on bass, Matt Klaumenzer.
All right, there you go. Where are you guys playing? Are you guys out and about or?
Yeah, we've been playing. We have a residency. We do Teolio's a lot. We just played up in Huntington Beach for the Huntington Beach Surf Museum. Had an event down there right at the pier where we played with about 5 other surf bands, and then we're playing with the Safaris, who did Wipeout.
That's a big name.
Well, it's in his blood because his dad is one of the surviving members of the Safaris.
No kidding.
And Devin's in the band too with his mom.
No kidding.
Yeah.
My whole family plays.
And you guys have there's a gig coming up I see here. Is this the one at Teolio's on June 21st?
Yeah.
When you got the Safaris or the Tourmaliners and I don't know who else is out there, but you can go to teolios.com for more information on them. That sounds like a lot of fun. Is that the Teolios that's down? What street's it off of?
It's off Napa.
Napa,
Street,
that's right. Yeah.
Marina District. Yeah.
But we'll get to this in a little bit because you're talking about business.
Yeah.
You're all about money and business and finances.
Allegedly.
That young man right there, Devin, his dad finally got the publishing rights.
Oh no, that's good.
To Wipeout. Yeah.
Right on.
The whole band did.
Because that's a song, Wipeout. That was the Safaris song. It was so famous. I don't know what the first movie it was in. It's got to be Endless Summer or something like that. But
well, it was in
Everything.
Dirty Dancing.
Right.
Triple platinum
That's
for
right.
that one.
That's right.
It was in The Sandlot. Remember The Sandlot?
Oh, what
was
a
in
great
there.
Everything.
What a great movie that was.
And it just came out in Stranger Things season 4, episode 2. They have a whole scene with Wipeout in it.
Now, him getting the publishing on that means he'll start getting a check every once in a while because a lot of times they don't keep the publishing rights. They're not getting money on the replays, right?
Well, all 4 band members are writers, so they got the writers' royalties for that. But in terms of the publishing, for the first time in the 60-year history of the song, the band has got the national publishing.
Good stuff.
Yes.
For
Well,
that.
welcome here. We're glad to have you along.
Thank you.
And it sounds so cool in here. Because we normally have the big giant band here. It's like the smooth sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
They
really
sound
good.
great. All right,
let's
bring
get
on
this
some
thing going.
guests.
What do we got?
Originally from Dallas, Texas, everyone's favorite weatherman, Mark Mathis.
There he is.
Mark Mathis.
Everybody's back.
Right over here.
Like this one?
Yes.
How many? Look at that.
How are you?
Look at that watch he's got going.
You
there.
know what? You
Wow.
come to the best, you got to wear the best. It costs $22.
Yeah, that's good.
By the way, I thought, is it Black Day? Black's supposed to be slimming. It's not.
You didn't get the black shirt.
You know, I've already been criticizing on my whole pattern.
You've got 7 patterns going on.
I know.
Kazi was called a moire on the calendar.
You
People
know
are getting
what? There are
carsick
no
and-
rules in fashion, Sully. There are no rules in fashion. You just go with whatever you go with.
That's right.
And evidently it's Black Day. How you both doing? I haven't
Well, this
seen
is
you
all that's back.
forever.
You know, the reason we do that is because when we're taping other shows, if we decide to take a day off, we're in the same thing. They don't know.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Exactly.
Is that the reason?
You both look
Made
fantastic.
it up completely, but no.
Hey, but thank you very much for doing this. And
Yeah.
I do have a question because you are from Dallas, Texas, and recently you posted a photo of Allen, Texas, a football stadium, a high school football stadium.
Yeah, $60 million.
There's a lot of controversy down in the South Bay. My school, Castle Park, hasn't fixed anything since 1963.
Right.
They're still playing in dirt.
Right.
But you grew up in Dallas.
Right.
What's the difference? Is there a major difference in high school?
High school football.
Friday Night
That's-
Lights.
High school football
Dallas.
is a big deal down there, man. I mean, it's like, and it's even gotten bigger since I left. I mean, it was huge when I was there. You know, the Friday Night Lights, we played that team. The Dallas Carter team that was in all the red at the end of they were sophomores when we were juniors, and we beat them playing in the Cotton Bowl.
It seemed like they would recruit professional athletes to play down there. I mean, is there like, are those just the kids that happen to live in the district? They just go to that school.
Well,
and they're all just fantastic football players.
Here's what happens. You get these private schools that develop, and then they start recruiting players, and these private schools are playing in stadiums that are, 30 and 40 and 50,000 people, and they all show up.
Right.
And these athletes are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I mean, football's a big deal in Texas. I mean, it's just...
And the money comes from what? Alumni? They're built, or is
a lot of...
is it a little foggy? It's unclear where the
Get a
doug's
little bit
going.
of money here, and
But that
fastest kid here.
That Allen, Texas stadium, it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why a high school gets that stadium.
You know what? There were a lot of, and Allen was a day's drive when I grew up in Dallas, and now it's, just right up the road. But you get a lot of people moving north. You got a lot of money. You get a lot of people that want to win in Texas, and so they built the stadium. A lot of people moved to Allen, Texas. They recruited the best football coaches, and they gave football coaches down there make almost $180,000 to $200,000
Just as a football coach.
just as a high school football coach.
Wow. That's a lot of cake. So listen, I don't think it's like that. I think in San Diego we have some programs that are supported. Just not all the programs are supported.
Well, it's just a South Bay thing, in my opinion. I think, East Chula Vista is getting all the great fields. It's the west side, Chula Vista High School, Castle Park, Southwest. Those guys are getting forgotten.
Why?
Why? And where's the money going to come from?
I have no idea, but hopefully now there's people jumping up and down, so hopefully it'll change and we will finally get that stadium.
There's as good athletes here in San Diego County as there are in Dallas County or in any other county in the country. I mean, it's just that it seems like that there's certain areas of Dallas, Texas that build these ginormous stadiums and recruit the
And
I want to go to a Friday football game in Dallas or something. That would be fun.
This guy,
seriously, because you can't see that over here.
and you were a great athlete, right?
You're damn right I was.
Seriously, you were a running
Story all the
option?
time. Didn't you busted up a knee? Otherwise, you'd be a professional or something.
What?
Didn't you bust up a knee or something like that?
Yeah, I tore up my knee. I playing at Baylor. I just wrote Miles McPherson a note because he sent me a video the other day, and I said, I played with some guys that you may have played with in the NFL, guys like Thomas Everett and Ron and James Francis and Ray Berry, and they all played. And I was a freshman, so I was a scout team quarterback playing against those guys. We had 9 guys that were drafted into the NFL my freshman year at Baylor off the starting defense. 9 guys.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's almost unheard of these days.
I got a weather question for you.
Yes, please.
Do you create your own little mappy things that we're looking at?
The mappy things.
Yeah, the thing by the thing. Because you guys are always holding something. I don't know what.
Well, that's to change the maps.
Oh, that's what it is. But
It goes from
you have to
frame to
build
frame.
those yourselves?
Yeah.
Like all those cool little water graphics and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, some of them are created and some of them are auto-updated. But yeah, I create some of them.
Is it as easy to do weather in San Diego as we've all heard, comparatively speaking to other parts of the country?
It's the hardest gig in America.
Yeah,
It really
weatherman
is.
in San Diego.
No, John Coleman used to call it the biggest scam in America. It's the only gig they pay you to be 100% wrong.
Right.
But you can't be wrong too many times. But no, it's not easy.
In San Diego, it is, right?
What?
I mean, early morning low clouds, highs in the upper 70s.
It's an interesting you say that. I was having a conversation with John Coleman, and right before about a year before he passed away.
John Coleman, buddy, didn't he one of the founders of the Weather Channel?
Yeah,
KUSI?
he created the Weather Channel. He got so screwed on that.
Yeah.
He created the Weather Channel, and just like talent, we don't read the fine print on a lot of things. So the investors said, if it's not profitable after a year, then we can take it back. So he creates the Weather Channel. It's 1980, and he creates it, and it's not profitable after a year. So the investors, they take it back from him. And then NBC buys it for, I don't know, $2-point-something billion back in 2000, and he doesn't get a dime.
That's crazy.
But anyway, we were having a conversation about the weather, and he goes, it's not as, I go, John, I'm having a hard time with some of the patterns that are coming in. You get the low level, you get a little moisture, you get the high pressure system moved in the east. He goes, and I go, I'm just having a hard time with it. He goes, you're not the only one. And because evidently he had, some issues with it as well. So it's not as easy as you think it is, because there's so many different patterns moving in from different directions and different levels. And you got 4 different climates here. You got coast, inland mountains, and also the deserts. So anyway, I love that you have my buddy Russ.
Rusty Nails up on the wall there. That's exactly right.
I miss him. I love him.
And most of what he's
Great
doing
man.
up there, I think he's up here. Do we hear him?
Oh, Clutch Russell talking to you about your carbon footprint. I don't know how big your feet are, but God, my clod hoppers would take a couple pencils down.
He's still very much part of the show.
Yeah.
He is. He's
And most of the stuff on there is him doing you. So if you continue looking at the bar monitor.
Let's bring out the next guest before we take a break.
That was fun. Thanks so much.
You're here for the duration.
It's my
Guest
opinion, the next 2 guests, in my opinion, are one of the best morning shows in San Diego. And they're not even on the radio, but we'll explain later. It's AJ Machado and Sara Perry, better known as AJ and Sara.
There we go. Yeah. Good to see you.
What's up, brother?
We've known each other since day one on radio.
A very long time, yes,
That was
sir.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was the old days of KSDO.
Yeah.
Where were you on? B100?
Channel 933.
Channel
at first,
933.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, when you were the morning show on Channel 933, that's when it was the heyday. It seems like everyone came from your morning show.
Well, it was a brand new radio station, and I was some knucklehead in Monterey Bay, and I got the job in San Diego, and I started telling my radio friends, and they were like, "You're a dead man walking. Have you ever heard of Jeff and Jer and the show Graham and a little show called DSC? Good luck, pal. We'll see you in a year." So I definitely felt like I was driving the Green Mile when I was coming down here to take the show.
But you did it. You did it, and you're a success. And Sarah, I think you are star 100.7 for most of your career, right?
Yeah, like probably 9/10 of my career. Oh, with little Tommy and the show Graham.
No, but star 100.7, I tell these guys all the time, I think that was the best lineup and support team
That's a pretty good lineup.
of all time.
It was legendary.
Yeah.
It was the best.
And you were there. What did you do there in the very beginning?
I started as an intern,
Yeah.
and then like 42 things before getting on the air. But and then I got hired on as a promotions assistant. You know, like the whole spin the prize wheel out at Famous Footwear or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you know, morning show assistant, late night producing the talk show. Yeah.
You climbed your way up to the top.
I clawed my way up to the top. Yeah.
And
You're
then
the
how
most
did
beautiful radio personality I think I've ever seen.
AJ? I thought that too.
There's a few of them that look like, let's do the radio.
Those talk radio people look like.
How did you guys meet?
We met casually at different radio things. We knew each other a little bit over time, and I found myself in a position where I needed a new co-host, and I always thought she was super talented, so we got to team up for a while and had a really good time on the air together.
And I remember when you guys started and hooked up together because I think it was the eve of the DSC changing, and I heard rumors that Sarah was supposed to take Shelley's place. Is that a true story or is that not?
I guess that there were rumblings, but nothing was ever set in stone. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you went on with AJ, and then I think everywhere we got fired, you guys got hired.
There is a pattern of that in radio, isn't there?
It's all musical chairs, man.
It is.
But what's interesting is that you've been around this long. I mean, that's the thing about radio is that not a lot of people have long careers like that. You see, I mean, remember the Butt Brothers on 96.90? I mean, there's
They were
guys
called
that
the Butt Brothers?
Yeah, the Butt Brothers. They were they're a couple of head fry cooks out of somewhere. But honestly, I mean, when you start thinking in terms of sending a radio, there's a lot of longevity here in this town.
Where did they broadcast out of?
No,
Well,
I think it was Opie 100 studio.
Yeah, no one wants to leave. You know, in other cities, you get into a media market and you get some ratings, and you take off for LA.
That's right.
Well, we have another guest, and I have so many questions for all of you.
All right, we're just getting started, and here is the musical stylist of the Tourmaliners. Come on. On the air. You have to admit that sounds pretty cool. Pretty smooth up there. I mean, it has that whole kind of vibe where it's kind of mellow here, feeling pretty good.
Sounds just like the record.
It does. You guys appreciate it. Right on.
Tourmaliners.
Well, once again, when are you guys playing again? What day out there is it? You said a standing thing?
Tuesday, June 21st.
Okay.
We're playing.
When is
Teal
Wanderlust?
You mean Wonderfront?
Wonderfront, sorry.
When is Wanderlust? Is that anytime you feel it, Mark? It's going on in November. I can't remember the exact dates in
It's like
November.
the week after Thanksgiving.
Yes, it's
Or
right
the
in
week
between.
before.
Yeah, lots of bands this time. They just signed Echo Smith to come up there and play this time too. Huge festival.
Gwen Stefani?
Gwen Stefani will be on Sunday night. I think Zach Brown's on Friday night.
Okay, so in my opinion, radio is as big as ever, but it's now right here. Radio and television is right here.
Sure.
And it's not just your car stereo anymore like we all were when we started. How are you guys coping with that?
Well, we're still doing our show, but not on a station with a big antenna on a hill. We do it as a podcast now. It's the All in San Diego podcast, and it's been a lot of fun making that transition and learning how, it's the same but a little different. Listening patterns they use podcasts a little bit different from radio, but we still feel like two radio people just doing a show for San Diego.
Do you have to be? Do you try to keep a schedule like you're going to do it from 6 to 9 a.m. or something like that? Or
honestly,
since it's a podcast, right? You could fudge it a little bit.
There's a lot of flexibility, obviously, but consistency is key. I mean, if you start to slip. Yeah. And then, it's before you know it, it's gone. So yeah, we definitely try to keep a schedule and always keep things fresh. And that's the exciting thing about podcasting is it's like, it is a lot like radio in that you get to share about your lives. And in our case, with the podcast, like all the reasons we love San Diego is kind of like a love letter to San Diego, but you're still connecting with people.
Yeah, right.
It's just in a little bit different way.
Well, you guys are professional broadcasters. I mean, there was a time where someone put a microphone in front of themselves and called them a broadcaster because they just had a microphone.
Yes.
Podcasters.
I know what you mean.
Well, no, but I mean, no, there's a difference because the quality of podcasts have gone through the roof. You guys are radio broadcasters, which and there's a lot that goes on with that in terms of not signaling breaks, in terms of not talking over each other and everything else. So I think that's probably the difference why you guys are making it, and not everybody who just flips on a mic and says, "Hey, we got a podcast today." There's a lot to choose from. It's just not all successful, right?
Well, the thing that occurred to me when I started looking at the podcast landscape is it's the one medium right now where very few people are making a local. Using a local strategy, right? Everyone's like, I love this TV show. I'm going to do a national podcast about that TV show. Where with everything from radio, TV, everyone else has something local. So we're excited to be doing something local for the same audience we've had for a long time. And I really think that a lot more podcasters are going to figure that out.
So when you say consistency, like same time every day is the podcast, or you just mean consistency as in doing one every single day?
That's what we learned when we first transitioned. We started basically doing our radio show.
Yeah.
And podcast listeners don't listen at the same time every day. They listen, I have a long drive, or I'm going for a run, or whatever. So when we were doing bits about what happened in the news the day before, like those were dead in 2 days.
Yeah.
But people were still listening to them. So you have to make things a lot more evergreen with podcasts.
What about the transition of keeping your audience? Because that's a tough one, right? I mean, we've all switched stations before. We all wondered if they're still going to be there. Nobody ever tells you when you're in the radio business you're getting fired and you're not allowed to tell the audience.
Yes.
So what was that like? Transitioning over?
Just horrible.
Was it really?
No.
I mean, how did you keep them?
Well, like you said, you don't get a heads up. So it's not like you can blast all your listeners and be like, hey, by the way, follow us on All in San Diego podcast next. Yeah. But you just, through social media, that's the way now, right?
So is that how you captured your audience? You went and said they were already following you anyway. I wonder what those guys are doing. Suddenly, you didn't have to rebuild an audience from scratch that way, correct?
I think we retained a bunch, but then there's always a rebuild.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of new people too who maybe have never even heard of us from the radio before, but they're looking for things to do in San Diego with their family, and they stumbled upon our podcast or our post,
Plus, it's great not having a program director, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Editing's great too. It's great that you can edit.
It kind of stinks not having engineers or salespeople or a promotion staff or all the rest of the radio station staff. I would take immediately.
For sure.
Yeah, no program director's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I love all my program directors.
I'm so fascinated with this. So how's it been? Because you are everything. You're on air.
Yeah.
You're the engineer.
Yeah.
You're probably pitching the show to sponsors too, right?
Yeah.
How's that been?
I hate it all. I like doing.
You only want to do this.
A lot of that is in AJ's wheelhouse, but I actually kind of love it. That's the part that's really fun for me.
Really?
And it still gives us a chance to be creative and do something that's not related to virtual learning with my kids at home.
Yeah.
And
If you get X amount of listeners or you get X amount of viewers wherever you're posting your podcast, doesn't the money just come to you? I mean, doesn't a certain percentage?
We
Because I
thought.
know people that get X amount of viewers.
Because Mark has a
You would
podcast.
thought.
Mark has a podcast.
Yeah, but we're not as consistent as these guys.
Yeah. Well, just to be clear about what I hate, I love doing the show.
Yeah.
I love creating it, promoting it, editing it. I just don't, all the radio business stuff I love.
Right.
But to your point, it's not as straightforward as a radio station when they go out and sell a 60-second ad.
Right.
Some people want you to just post on Instagram about them. Some people want to do a ticket giveaway on social media. It's really, It's a platform more than just a podcast.
Well, I know people that have like Instagram accounts or whatever, and if they've got X amount of viewers of their whatever they post per month, then all of a sudden they're getting $4,000 and $5,000 checks in their account, every single month, which ain't bad, just for posting a 30-second dance video.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I would think podcasting is like the Rogan thing. Somebody's going to pick it up if it gets enough listeners or viewers.
All right, before we take a break, let's bring out the next guest.
All right, here she goes.
The San Diego County Fair is coming to town this coming week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fair Lady, Jen Hellman.
Okay.
The Fair Lady.
Remember the media party?
Fair Lady.
Remember the San Diego?
My Fair Lady.
I haven't been to a county fair media party in a long time.
I remember them. Some of those memories are blurry, but I remember them.
But you've worked hard, Jen, for making it come back. I mean, for a while it wasn't happening.
I'm so excited, but with a couple of years of no fair, I'm really nervous. Like, I'm a little rusty.
Really?
Yeah.
When does it
Because I
start?
saw the stuff
When
going
does
up
it
in
start?
Del Mar. I mean, it's happening. And you realize, here we go again.
June 8th. We open
June
June
8th.
8th.
Kidding.
What day of the week is that? That's
Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
The so is there a theme this year? I missed the theme. I'm not sure.
Heroes. So
Heroes, okay.
when we went into 2020 and the fair was canceled because of COVID, our theme was going to be Heroes Unite.
Okay.
And so when we came back here in 2022, we thought that's just more appropriate than ever. And
Oh.
so it's Heroes Reunite.
You know the
Very nice.
The fair.
Thank
The,
Lieber.
No.
You don't? Never mind.
so every time Mark comes here, he thinks he's at the bar.
He's the CEO of the Texas State Fair.
Oh.
So I just
I should
I
find
thought all
out
you
that.
fair
guys-
people.
Hey, you guys got a lot of great bands. Sully, you're playing, right?
We're playing on Belly Up Day somewhere over there. They're
That's
having a Belly Up Day, and kind of all the homers that play at Belly Up. It's kind of our home ground.
I went to your show at the Belly Up, and it was fantastic.
Well, thank you.
So
It was fantastic.
I'm excited, and I saw you at the Music Awards.
Well,
I'm excited to have you at the fair.
Well, thank you. But what I think is interesting though is that the fair's turned into, well, as you grow up here in San Diego, it started off as a place you went to in the afternoon with your friends in the summer, and as you get older, it turned into junk food when you had kids. Now it's turned into like a music festival.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the bands and stuff playing there. Who are some of the people we're going to see this year?
John Fogerty.
Wow.
Shaggy. We open with Jason Derulo.
Wow.
We have some comedy. Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. He's selling like hotcakes. So yeah.
I'd love to hear that.
Great.
Let's go through all that stuff and come back here. These guys got to play there at some point. At some point you got to get into the fair. Play us out here. Tourmaliners are going to be at the T.O. Leo's on June 21st, and that's going to be a party because the original Surfaris are going to be there.
Oh, yeah. His
And-
dad.
Yeah, and I'll tell you. See that sound right there?
That's cool.
It sounds pretty cool. All right, you guys. Much more to come. You guys got to come back more. The crappy Sully bands. We're gonna get too much of that. Let's get some new talent here. Come on. On the air, it's on the air. Great to have you along today, or as we like to call it, Tommy Show.
Hey, I do have a question.
Did you get any fallout from that? I got fallout.
I got
from that.
fallout from this young man.
All week. I got fallout from that.
This young man.
I got fallout for that all week long. After Tommy complained about.
Everybody I meet, everyone says, Tommy, I love your television show. I just love the Sully Show. And I go, I don't know what that is. And I go, Sully Show. And they go, the show on KUSI. Oh, Sully.
Oh, you mean
Tommy and Rusty?
Yeah, that's it.
No, but I'm
You haven't been famous long enough in this town?
but I have a question for all
set
four.
that
Hey, here's
Because he's going to bring it out
Thank
anyway.
you.
Here's a text from Tommy. Can you be a guest on my show? On the air with Sully? Sure.
Whatever. But I have a question for all four of you because you guys have all met celebrities. Sarah, what's a cool celebrity story through your career?
Oh my God. First of all, don't you freaking miss the days when like you would just be at work on a random, Tuesday and oh my God, like Sugar Ray is in the lobby. And you're like, what? They were much more exciting than Sugar Ray, but.
Yeah, but pizza was in the line. Anytime there's food at a radio station.
Donuts or pizza
Oh my God!
or something.
Anytime there's food at a radio station, people.
Sugar Ray was the weirdest example.
I know. Alanis Morissette. I don't know. But this one time, Duran Duran came by.
Wow.
Which was, like insane, right? I think they were doing our Jingle Ball or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we were taking pictures, and I got in next to Simon Le Bon, and he looked over at me, and I could feel him. You could feel somebody. I was like, I think he's looking at me. I think he's looking at me. And he sort of smelled my hair, kind of got into my hair. And
Little Joe Biden thing.
but for some reason, it wasn't creepy.
Oh, this is Duran Duran.
It wasn't creepy. I should have been creeped out, and he was like, I love your hair. And I was like,
Really?
oh my God. Simon
Right?
Le Bon just said he loved my hair.
First of all, great impersonation.
Yeah.
That was a really British accent,
Do it
right?
again. Can I hear it again?
You
Close
felt
your
like
eyes.
he was here for a second.
Close your eyes. Do it again. Do it again.
I love your hair.
Yeah, that's good. Wow. That was, yeah.
Been watching a lot of Bridgerton.
That's very Emily Blunt.
Thank you.
That's exactly what it sounds
And
like.
AJ, what about you? You've met everybody.
No hair compliments for me. I will say, I did Top 40 radio for a long time, and a lot of the artists in Top 40, they have had a hit song for about a week, and they come through the radio station like they're the kings of the world, and they have no perspective or anything. And then I had this one artist booked, and it was the only time a manager reached out to me and said, hey, my artist is coming on with you tomorrow. Can you fill out this questionnaire? Because this person really wants to have a really good interview. And so this questionnaire was, are you married? Do you have a dog? Just normal stuff. But then this person really did a lot of homework and came in and did one of the best interviews I've ever done, because they prepped for it like it was super important on my little show in San Diego. And it was Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
No.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Wow.
Is that the biggest name you think? Because Top 40 radio, that's some big names, man.
Yeah. Every once in a while, the actors in the movie, you get a little bit of everything.
What about Lady Gaga showed up at his kids' crane?
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh my God! I
when
just
you're
saw
up,
her in
when
Vegas.
you're up in the sky for
Well, first of all, tell us what AJ's crane is.
So for 20 years, we've done a thing where I go up in a crane in a parking lot. It's not the most original radio stunt you've ever heard of, but it's for Rady Children's Hospital. And over the years, we've raised millions of dollars and toys for the kids. And yeah, early in her career, in fact, for perspective, she was opening for New Kids on the Block. So she wasn't a superstar yet.
Yeah.
But she caught wind of it, and she was going to be in town, and she offered to come out and performed in the IKEA parking lot below my crane. And she was big enough where she drew the biggest crowd we ever had.
No,
Hula has a
geez.
picture of it.
Yeah.
On his Facebook.
This is like pre-meat dress and everything. Like
Isn't
right in the
everything? It's
beginning.
either pre or post meat dress.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
I saw
Jen,
her in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I was kind of a fan of newer music, but seeing her live, I'm what do they call them, little monsters or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm her biggest fan now.
little
She is
monster.
phenomenal.
Who's the biggest actress you guys have paraded through a radio station?
Actor.
Because
actress?
Tommy has a story about well-known young actor named Russell Crowe.
Oh.
Who he made purposely park on the other side of the building. So we had to parade him by all the stations.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. And, no, I used to always do that because I love being in a hallway full of other great morning shows because it makes you better.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to get the best guests. I always wanted to do the best stunts. And so when Russell Crowe did show up one day, I said, hey, why don't you park over there by, the other side of the building?
So you had to walk
And
by
I
DSC first.
I did walk him through. I think you were on as well. And I walked
Yeah.
him through the windows, but I don't know. But Jen, you've met everyone at the San Diego County Fair. What's the coolest story you have about a celebrity?
Hands down, the best performance and the coolest person was Pink.
No kidding.
And it was kind of early in her career as well, but blew it away on stage, and then afterwards wanted to ride some rides with the whole band.
Really?
And so I got her on all the rides, and I drove her around on my little golf cart,
Really?
and the whole night, so cool and so nice and fun. Everyone she met, she shook their hand and said hello. It was a great.
Do they
time.
still do Radio Row there? Remember we saw broadcast out there a long
Yeah.
time ago. Do they still do that?
We still
That was
do.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Because, you always had a show tool like, Dustin, Devin, or little Tommy would go out there. We'd make you ride the rides with the churro in your hand. And you call in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has that memory of you out there.
What did you call him?
The little Devin, little Tommy, I don't know.
No,
The show tool.
Show tool. I always heard street turd.
No, show tool. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he wasn't a show tool, but
No, he wasn't.
like Abramowitz, for example.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Show tool.
Yeah,
And that
Clint,
old,
Yeah.
show tool.
Of
Right?
course.
Oh my God, you didn't have the Butt Boy name.
Butt Brothers.
But what about you, Mark?
goes again.
You've met everyone. I mean, you've, coming through your television stations.
Yeah.
I was working in Austin, Texas, and I had played golf on a Saturday, and this was Saturday afternoon, like 3 o'clock. And I stopped by the 10th Street Bar and Grill, rehab.
I thought you were going to say pre-meat dress.
It was.
And so that's when Sandra Bullock and Matthew McConaughey were kind of hanging out. There was it's a small bar, no bigger than this room,
Right.
And it was Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, and me, and we sat there, and I was doing the weather, so they kind of knew who I was, and they were both living in Austin, and we all sat there and just had about 3 hours, and finally it was, call me Sandy. He was like hammered, and Matthew was already hammered. I think he did.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
On the air. Got much more to come. Stand by. Jen Hellman from the San Diego County Fair is going to tell us everybody is on the list without even looking at the thing coming up.
AJ and Sarah.
Got it. Mark Mathis. And the Tourmaliners. There you go, boys.
Love it.
Really? I mean,
It's the record.
it is. And I wonder if was that the Safaris? I wonder. Was that original?
It was either the Safaris or the Ventures.
Yeah. Or the Tourmaliners. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. And girls. Nice job. Who wrote that? Was that your dad? Was that you guys? No?
Sorry, what?
Who wrote that?
Hey, my drummer can rap and
Shantays.
play drums.
Shantays
The
did that in
Shantays.
1962, recorded in Rancho Cucamonga.
Wow.
Wow.
Where there's no surf whatsoever. Okay. So we were talking on the break. Is there anybody that was just completely ridiculous and it wasn't nice at all? They thought they were too big for their britches?
I got one. I don't know if anyone will remember this guy because he didn't last long, but there was a rapper named Soulja Boy, and he had the hit of the summer.
You in your top 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what year it was, but we used to do a summer concert that was really big, and we had Soulja Boy there, and he was doing a meet and greet, and most of his fans were kids. And I happened to be standing by, and each kid would come up and, oh, you're the best. Get kids gushing over it. How much they love it. He wouldn't even look at him. He would just stand here, looking straight forward, ignoring every single little kid. Literally just ignored everyone through at his own meet and greet.
Dude, this is some of the best people. Of course, I was just talk radio. It was when William Buffett came in. I'm totally kidding. Nobody cares about William Buffett. When athletes come in, I thought they were the best people. Because obviously radio stars and music stars, they're used to 50,000 people pawing over all the time, and they're on these. You're not the only show they're going on, right? Aren't they doing the tour thing?
Sure.
Somehow athletes are always really cool out there. I mean, we had Stadium Chargers and Junior Seau and some of those people, man. Some of the best times in the radio studio.
Yeah.
Not when we were meeting Joe Perry, who was a great guy, or who's the guy from Journey, the guy that plays the guitar?
Steve
Perry. No, the other guy, Neil
Joe
Schon.
Perry.
Neil Schon.
Yeah.
So some of those guys are great, but I always just thought to myself, being an athlete in this town was something that was great to everyone. We don't get to see those people very often anymore because
But
we're
Sarah-
basically relegated to being Portland at this point. We have one team, and we have no more Charger team. Sorry, I'm just lamenting the fact we don't have.
But Sarah Perry,
Way to bring the show down again. Thanks a
Sarah
lot.
grew up on Star 100.7. You grew up on Star 100.7, and we had everyone there. I mean, I remember when Maroon 5 was kind of new, and they hung out with us.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have a bunch of stories.
I think Miley Cyrus came in. Alanis Morissette came in one time. New Kids on the Block. Oh my God! Like my 9-year-old self would have died if I could go back and tell my 9-year-old self, like, one day, New Kids on the Block is going to be live in studio with you, and then the Backstreet Boys are going to come the next week. I just wouldn't have believed it. But there are way more, hey, that person was really cool, surprisingly really cool stories than there are like, oh, they were totally rude. But
Do they still do that? Do they still promote albums by going to studios like that, like the artists themselves?
It really went down over time. I think they do social media and they throw up their TikTok video. They put their energy into a lot of other things. They just do some, but I saw a lot less year after year.
All right, Jen, who's at the fair? Come on, it's like who are you looking forward to the most? I want a name every time we come in and out of a break because you drive by the sign there and there's somebody new every day that's showing up.
Well, we added 311 kind of late to the lineup, and that's going to be a great fair show.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good summer evening at the fair. Get out there and ride some rides afterwards. John Fogerty, that's another one that's going to be fantastic.
And people don't have to pay extra for that ticket, or they do?
They do.
They do. You pay extra for that ticket.
Your concert ticket includes your admission to the fair.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you're also doing Community Heroes. It must be hard for those people that you chose to be on that list. It must have taken them like lifelong,
Do you guys know? Do you know that Tommy is one of our community heroes?
Oh,
that's right.
Wow.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Way to slip that
I don't know
in.
that there's anyone who does more for San Diego than Tommy over his career and personally, really.
I know.
You know, those community heroes are really hard to pick. You really got
Tommy,
to.
in the words of Tommy, enough about me. What about you?
but
What do you think about me?
Tommy's like, enough about me. I'll post all about it.
Yeah.
But true story. Jen told me this November of 2019.
Really?
November
We went to
2019, saying, hey, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think of this for our San Diego County Fair 2020? And then,
So do you get to do anything?
Do you
know what I mean?
as a National Radio Hall of Fame?
Kind of a big
Tommy
deal.
Slum?
But
I sent that to her.
Close to 50 local people that we've done an exhibit on, and our theme exhibit, the Hall of Heroes. And then every night in the paddock, right before what we call the Party in the Paddock, which is a bunch of tribute bands at 8 p.m. At 7:45, we're showing what we're calling the Salute to Heroes, and it's a short 5-minute kind of immersive video, not just one video, but it's very immersive and it's super inspiring. Like, you're going to want to leave that paddock every night and go do something good in your community because
Have
the
you seen it?
stories are incredible.
Have you seen your video?
He keeps asking me, and I keep
haven't
just
seen
ignoring
it.
him when he does.
I haven't seen it.
want
Are
him
you
to
going to
be
be there?
surprised.
Are you going to be there the night it airs?
I'm hoping he comes out.
Standing right in front of the
I hope
screen.
he comes out opening night to watch it
I'll be
with me.
taking selfies. I'll be taking selfies.
I'll be
but
with yourself.
seriously.
I love it.
Oh, here you have the
Seriously, but
Hall
thank
of
you.
Heroes.
Yes.
No. But thank
might be on
you.
there?
There's some great stories. I mean, that police officer who rescued that family when they drove off Sunset Cliffs, people who have lost children and started nonprofit organizations to better the community. I mean, the stories are amazing.
They are.
It's good.
And any new, I think that, the fair really changed when Chicken Charlie showed up. Let's face it. Remember we started fried
Frying
butter?
everything.
Yeah.
And Chicken Charlie's will be here at some point in the studio.
yeah.
It's one of his favorite places.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any new like Capo Taco vendor that we haven't seen yet? Is there something coming out that's a must see?
There is one of my favorite things at the fair, favorite foods, has been hidden for years. And this year they are not new, but super improved. And that is Mom's Cookies. Have you ever had Mom's Cookies?
Oh, yes.
She has this tiny little stand, and it's been buried in the exhibit hall for years. And she has this big new trailer, and it's right at the front gate.
Really?
If you love chocolate chip cookies, you need these. And on your way out, you can get kettle corn and cookies to go. Salty, sweet.
Well, the
it's
strategy is on that because you can't eat everything there. It's almost like you.
You need an insulin shot on the way out, you know?
I mean, how many boxes of that fudge have you gotten in your career and came home and was sick on the way home because you ate too much?
Mackinac Island fudge. That's just good.
One day is not going to hurt you.
Oh, that day will. Yeah. That day will clog your heart, pal.
It's hard to work there.
Yeah,
and not
yes,
be
it
way
is.
overweight. I mean,
And the best part is that there's always these, the vendors, the food vendors like Chicken Charlie. It looks like Vegas after a while out there. Have you seen the size of these things?
Yeah.
Like they've got 16 stories high. They got anyway. I'm looking
Chicken
forward to it.
Charlie must make $1 zillion at the San Diego County Fair.
you know what? All those guys, though, they work their tails
They
off.
do, and they
it's
go from
hard
fair to fair
work.
to fair to fair to
And
fair.
it's all small business,
Yeah.
It's great. They're all so fun and nice, too.
All right, much more to come. I want to find out what you guys are promoting, how we can help you guys out, get your audience out. Of course, the fair starts on.
June 8th, Wednesday.
There we go. Wow. You'll hear much more of these guys too. The Tourmaliners. Stand by.
Summer's here.
Good stuff. That's the Tourmaliners once again on June 21st at T.O. Leo's.
Hey, I want to say this. Congratulations to AJ and Sarah for your career.
Yeah.
And but following your career, you had a pretty good producer named Hula.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing you guys like at shows and concerts. It was AJ and there was Hula right behind.
Sure. Well, he didn't start as my producer. When I first came to town, radio stunts were big, and this is the early 2000s. So I brought my wacky stunt guy from my previous radio station, and then he went back home, and Hula had just been following him around cleaning up his messes and stuff. He said to me, "Hey man, can I be your stunt guy?" And I was like, "I don't know, bro. You're like this quiet little. I don't think you can. But what do I got to lose? Let's shoot you out of a cannon tomorrow, or whatever it was." And he ended up being one of the all-time great radio stunt guys. And after years of earning his stripes, I became a producer, and it was an awesome one.
Hula. And now he works for KUSI.
Yeah.
He's cleaning up all the Mark stuff. Yeah. But Sarah, I've watched your career. I mean, since day one at Star 100.7, like an intern, like you said, to being on the air, and you truly did climb the ladder of success. And look at you.
Yeah, I did. It was a fun climb. I feel like one of the biggest turning points was when Laura Kane went on maternity leave with her second baby, with baby Evan.
Yeah.
And this opportunity popped up. You guys needed somebody to fill in, but it was like a long chunk. It was like, who gets to fill in for Laura Kane for like 3 months at a time, right? Like, I couldn't believe what was happening. It was so awesome just to be in there, like learning from you guys. And
how do people find you guys if they want to find in the podcast?
Go to wherever you listen to podcasts and search for All In San Diego, or just go to allinsandiego.com.
All right.
Yeah.
All in San Diego.
All in San Diego.
Yes.
How do people find your podcast,
Mark?
Mark my words on all the
wow,
major,
very catchy.
Yeah, you want to come be? Y'all want to come be a guest?
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe we could promote each other.
There you go. That's called a pod swap in the podcasting
learning.
world. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Here's what I've found. There's a lot of people that have a lot of followers. Their sponsors don't let them come on podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, like all the ones that have millions of followers.
Yeah.
Their sponsors are like, nah, you can't go on those podcasts.
And I have an important text to read to Jen Hellman.
This should be awkward.
It's from my daughter. She goes, "Hey, Dad, any chance we can get San Diego County Fair tickets?"
You got it.
I'm just kidding.
You got to hook up.
They're like $1, Tommy.
I'm kidding.
How much are they?
$20 on weekends, 15 weekdays.
Okay, see? You get a lot of stuff with that.
You can.
All right, let's, first of all, you guys got to come back. And it's what a great honor to have you. And you and I, first day in radio, I think. And
Absolutely.
My first day in radio is
Yeah.
one of the first guys
You
I
and
met.
Tommy, guys.
So it's great.
We're going back.
You are always welcome as we have the fair stuff throughout the summer. You just got to come back and start
See you at
promoting
the
it.
fair.
You? Yeah. So great to see you guys. Let's get the Tourmaliners to
Mark's
play
the
us out here
best.
today.
Mark Mathis, ladies and gentlemen.
Got it.
Mark Mathis.
Here we go.